Godspeed, Spider-Man. Or, insert your own Willem Dafoe impression here. Welcome back. I'm doing another toy review. The price of this guy kept bouncing up and down, and I've not got a classic Green Goblin in the current Marvel Legends mold. In fact, I don't own a Green Goblin made by Hasbro. I own a Toy Biz one that's based on his look in the Spectacular Spider-Man comics. I'm trying to remember who the artist is. Humberto Ramos, based on his look, which is quite cool. And I've got one from the OG Sinister Six Toy Biz set from the mid to late 2000s, where he's all spindly and he's got eyes behind lenses. Like, his eyes are big yellow lenses and you can see sculpted eyes underneath. But I wanted an updated one, and the most available is the one in the style of the animated series from the 90s packaging and all that good jazz. This boy, Gobby! It's you, it's out, Gobby, out of your mind. Look at him, spoopy boy. Packaging is similar to the Gwen and Spider-Man figures that we've looked at previously on this channel, including the full wave, as it stands as a wave, which is Spider-Man, Electro, Peter Parker, Gwen Stacy, Daredevil, and the Green Goblin, which is how he talked in this show. That these are all loosely based on, at least in terms of their colour scheme. Hey, Gobby, focus. Focus on the Gobby. That's the best we're going to get. Description reads, one of the few who knows that Spider-Man is really Peter Parker, the Green Goblin is perhaps the web-slinger's greatest foe. Damn right. He and Kingpin are my joint favourite Spider-Man villains. Hopefully I'll end up getting that one from the wave. He's one of the special edition ones, separate from this wave itself. But till then, I cannot wait to open up the Green Goblin. Glider and Pumpkin Bomb, and also Norman head and bag, I guess. Let's pop him open, shall we? I don't want to alarm you guys, but it's the Green Goblin! Woo! Get into focus, you bugger. Green Goblin himself. Let's take a close look at some of the bits and pieces that come with Gobby. So this is a pumpkin bomb. It is very, very tiny. But it's a nice piece, nice sculpted piece. It's got a little pumpkin smile on it. It's got, instead of like a green plug, it's sort of got green flames coming out of it, like it's already lit or about to explode. But it's nice. He doesn't grab hold of it particularly well, so this is something you're going to lose. Take good care of it. If you have like an accessory box like I do, maybe keep it there. He also comes with a Norman Osborn head, which has the infamous Osborn cornrows, although they're all in brown. They're all brunette. There's no red and black in there. Maybe it's just too difficult to paint red and black in rows. But it's unmistakably Osborn hair. It's a nice portrait as well. It's a really nice Osborn portrait. I think this might be, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this might be the first like Osborn head we've got. It's certainly the first one I've had. So that is a very, very nice addition. The glider, he just slides in and out of it. It's not really one you're going to be displaying perched on top of anything because it doesn't really grip his feet so much as they just sit in there. But it's a classic Goblin glider, same design that the animated series opted for in the 90s. It's this kind of gunmetal silver. It's a very flimsy piece of plastic. Sturdy for display, but if you're buying this for a kid, it's being used for play, it might be a little... This might be the first thing to break. Oh god! See? Have glue to hand. Put it over there near Gwen, because I'm sure that's not remotely offensive. Now, let's take a look at the Goblin himself. So, oh, that's creepy. That's very Alex Ross painting. Standard articulation. Ankles do that, including pivot, which is really handy for gliders because all the old ones didn't do that, and it wore out the grip on the glider because a stiff foot would be dragging the plastic to one side. Turns at the calf at the top of the boot, ideal place to disguise it, and it's wide enough so that you don't have bits of his calf sticking out when it's turned. Double knee joint. Joint at the top of the thigh, turn at the top of the thigh, rather. And a lovely little pin and socket there. Both legs are the same. Legs more so than the arms because there's more to see. Showcase the brilliant, you know, that textured plastic of the scales of the Goblin costume. Bag is a separate piece that hangs loosely around the torso, so if you wanted to drop it you could. Belt is I don't believe it's attached, but it's very tight. It's a separate piece and it wiggles a little bit. Turns at the waist, which is nice. Crunches in the middle. Not too much of a crunch downwards, but definitely a lean back, which is good for maniacal laugh poses. As you can see, the collar is a separate piece that doesn't need to be a separate piece. So it's just very kind of, I don't know. I have a feeling that it's because the body mold is from something else and they just added that. I have a feeling that I'm going to probably glue that in place so it doesn't move around all the time. Arms, pin and socket at the top of the shoulder. They swivel at the top of the bicep. 2 joints for articulation on the elbow, but because of the thickness of the sculpt of the gloves, the arm doesn't really bend all the way more than that, but that's fine. That's fine. You can get plenty of poses out of him all the same. No swivel at the top of the glove, which is really nice sculpted ruffled piece, but the hands have a little more leeway and can move all around. And then let's take a look. Oh, it's a little stiff. Got to be careful with those joints, boys and girls. So look at the portrait. Let's look at it a little closer. We'll swap out the head and we'll put the Norman head on. If it promises to behave. Oh god, it's very loose, that neck. That neck is loose. Always be careful when you're putting your heads on. Gentle. Oh jeez, I'm going to do it off camera because I don't want to snap the bastard. And we've already lost the collar. The collar's fallen off and flown across the room, so I'm going to have to find that after I finish filming because that is ridiculous. See? You have to glue the bugger on. Okay, so the head takes a lot to screw on. Like, that did not go on easily. So, take care with your Norman head, folks. That did not go on without a bit of a fight. Maybe worth heating it first, which is kind of annoying for an action figure. You sort of hope that an action figure wouldn't need that much preening and pruning to get it working. But yes, the Goblin head. Now, it's a nice classic Green Goblin look, but it has, despite a good sculpt and rubbery ears, rather sturdy hat, it has one problem. Those pupils look just a little too far apart for my liking. It feels like he's staring in 2 different directions. Now, yes, it's a mask. It's not Norman's actual face, so you could argue that maybe that's just the mask, but it'd be nice if they kind of were staring daggers in one direction. I don't know. It's still a lovely sculpt. And all things considered, Gwen's dead. All things considered, this is going very well. All things considered, I think it's a pretty solid figure. In fact, I quite like it. Do you like the Marvel Legends Spider-Man the Animated Series inspired Green Goblin? Have you got it yourself? Would you like me to review any other figures in the range? We've already done Gwen, who's dead, and Spider-Man, who's back there doing nothing about it, as per usual. I have a couple more on my wish list on Amazon, link in the description. If you want me to review them, you're desperate for me to get them, let me know. And no obligation, of course. But if you do, I always give you a shout out. And I quite like this. I'm very happy to add this to the collection. I'll see you next time. Oh, Gobby, let's go find your collar before we lose it or the dog eats us.